Hello. Hello, ambitious leader. It's Tika, and I am here today to have a quick talk with you about personal branding and leadership presence. I'm going to tell you a bit more about what is the distinction between personal branding, personal brand, leadership presence, executive presence, because there are a lot of ways in which these terms are similar. However, there are many ways in which they are different. But before I venture into that, I want to take an opportunity to talk about what personal branding is not. Okay. I shared before that personal branding is not fake. Personal branding is really about helping you to build a reputation and an image that is in alignment with your identity and one in which you are respected and you are able to attract and connect with others for greater influence. When you have a strong personal brand, people know you for what you do, they know you for who you are, and they have get to a point where they can establish a relationship with you so that they can trust you and ultimately work with you, whether it be in your career or in your business. Now, I really felt the need to stress the fact that there are some misconceptions about personal branding, what it is, what it doesn't involve, what it entails. And I wanted to make sure that I was able to speak to the authenticity that is required while building a personal brand. It's important to be who you are. It's important to be able to show up as your true self and not feel that you have to mask or fake or be something that you're not in order for you to move ahead. There's a lot of ideas out there that suggest that if you are not necessarily of a certain popular or majority, if you're not in alignment with the majority, then you have to conform in a certain way in order for you to be accepted. Now, there is some truth to that, and I'll talk to that in a bit more detail. However, at the very core of it is the need for you to really understand what is it that you value, who you are at your core. And once you get clear on that, then it's easier for you to place yourself in positions, in spaces that are respectful of those values that you have. You see, one of the challenges we've had over time is that we felt that we just need to show up in a space and then fit into that space. And yes, sometimes depending on where we are geographically located and the opportunities that are available to us, sometimes we are forced to be in a box that we necessarily do not fit in. But as we evolve, as we grow, as we learn more about ourselves, as we learn more about our strengths, our weaknesses, and the environments that enable us to thrive, we are in a greater position to make choices. And those choices are ones in which we can decide what environments, what situations, what careers, what roles work best for us. All right, so now on to the topic of personal branding. The What I would like to stress is the fact that personal branding is not boasting. I'm going to say it again. Personal branding is not boasting. I've spoken to many women, I've worked with many women, and one of the ideas that I find is consistent among many, particularly those who are from the older generations and those who perhaps grew up in the era where you let your work speak for itself, is that they felt that in order for them to show up at work, in order for them to be respected, they had to hold their heads down and just continue to deliver. And what that did was, yes, you were seen as somebody who could work well, but that oftentimes that resulted in you being pigeonholed into a particular work environment in a particular industry. And before time, you realize when you are no longer satisfied, you didn't have the opportunity, you don't have the opportunity to sell yourself and your transferable skills to another setting, perhaps where you may be feeling a bit more comfortable or where you feel that you have a better fit. So a lot of women that I've dealt with are afraid to create or to design or to get into personal branding because they feel that it's going to mean that they have to boast or they have to show off. Like they've received an award, they have to show off that they've received the award. Or if they've done anything incredible in their business, they have to show off that they've done these incredible things. And to an extent, I understand what the concern is, right? Because you don't want to come off as being braggadocious or to come off as though it's all about self promotion. What personal branding is, it's really you having a presence in the spaces that you can add value to. And when you are present in those spaces, the people who need to be supported by you, the people who need your help, your assistance, are able to be attracted to you. They're able to connect with you, and ultimately they're able to be influenced by you. And you can do that in subtle ways. And I'll give you a few subtle ways in which you can build your personal brand without it coming across as boastful. I'll give you an example of what boastful personal branding is. There's something to be said about having confidence in your ability. There's something to be said about being proud of your accomplishments. There's something to be said about having pride in what you do, but also in how you've helped others and sharing that with other people to give them an idea as to what their experience would be. And ultimately to help them to gain a certain degree of trust with you. However, the best way that you can possibly do that is through your deeds, right? Yes, through your deeds. And though I've said, holding your head down and doing the work isn't the only way, but getting those results that are going to prove that you are, in fact, the real deal, that you are, in fact, the person that they should consider for either the career or the business opportunity. And what does that mean? It means if you set out to be a business person, getting the results in your business, having social proof, testimonials, people who are going to back you, come behind you and say, you know what? Yes, Teca did so and so for me, and she helped me, and I can tell you these are the results that I achieved. Or being in a position where you're visible. You're visible and you're demonstrating through your knowledge, through your knowledge transfer, through your thought leadership, that you know what you're talking about, that you know your stuff. These are ways in which you can promote your personal brand. These are ways in which you can develop personal branding without being boastful. Now, how do you even begin? How do you even start? And why should you even care? All right, you should care because the reality is there are billions of people on the planet and multi-millions of people using social media platforms. And since the pandemic, I was talking about personal branding well before the explosion because it was coming and I knew it was coming. But one of the things that you have to recognize is whether you like it or not, people are going to form judgments about you. People are going to determine whether or not they want to work with you based on the limited information that they have available to them. People make decisions very quickly, under 7 seconds. This is historically what has been now is probably like under 3 seconds because people are so overstimulated. They need to make quick decisions, fast decisions about you, about your competency, about your reliability and your trustworthiness. And in order for them to do that, they have to have some form of proof. They can't just have you walking around boasting and saying how fantastic and fabulous you are, because that's just not it. And that's not enough. It's not it, period. So one of the ways in which you can do that is go out there and be great. Go out there and do what it is that you set out to do If you are unable to do it because of whatever reason, you've got to be clear to communicate with your audience, communicate with the people who you seek to connect with, and let them know. Be trustworthy. I shared some of the mistakes that I made in growing, building my brand, and one of those mistakes was being consistent. I had a challenge being consistent because I was in a season of my life where I was called to focus on other things, such as motherhood. And that was really a challenge that I had to navigate. I wasn't good at it. No, I wasn't. I was great at being a mom. I was struggling to figure out how to navigate it for a variety of reasons. So showing up in my business was something that became a second thought, an afterthought. As much as I had the desire and the willingness, I didn't have the capacity to do what it is that I wanted to do. And that set me back because I felt the responsibility to listen to what God had put in my heart many years ago, to step into my gifts and to empower women and to improve conditions within workplaces and help people to step out and chart a new course for themselves in their lives. So it's important for you to recognize that you can build a personal brand. You have a personal brand, but when you are branding for yourself, there's no need to be boastful. And by coming out and stepping up, you are not boastful unless you do the things that I suggested earlier. It's not about boasting. It's about recognizing that you need to be present. You need to show up as your best self. You need to show up and add value, and you need to show up in order to attract and connect with those people that you seek to influence. Otherwise, you're going to be burying those gifts, burying those talents, and you will not be able to realize your full potential, and you'll not be able to add the value and to support the people that are waiting for you. They're literally waiting for you. All right. So I hope that adds value to you. I hope this was informative. I hope this was, you were able to take away one nugget that you could implement. Tell me, what was the one thing that you discovered from this talk that you could take action on right away? I'd love to hear it, because it's one thing to hear and to learn and to listen to learn, but it's another thing to implement and to act. So, what is the one thing that you can implement or act upon that you believe can help you as you're building your personal business brand? All right, that's it for me for now. If you are new to the space, I am Teca Cameron-Tackie. I am an image consultant and leadership presence and personal brand coach. I'm also a style whiz. I work with diverse women, to help them to show up with authority, with confidence, and style. Now, I do that in a variety of ways through offering services in image consulting. I offer services as a coach, speaker, and trainer. And I also support small business owners who are looking to step up as leaders, who are looking to showcase their business brands in the brightest light. So that's me in a nutshell and what it is that I do. If you are interested in learning more about the work that I do, then I invite you to follow the link in my bio or visit me at bit.ly/Teca. That's Teca Cameron. I look forward to connecting with you again, and thank you for taking the time to listen. I hope this was very helpful for you. All right, take good care. Bye.